We go.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. We are Scrum Inc. and the Agile Education Program powered by Scrum Inc., which is the credentialing arm of Scrum Inc. So just a quick introduction to who we are. We were founded by Dr. Jeff Sutherland, the co-creator of Scrum and creator of Scrum at Scale. He still works there today, helping to, contribute to the thought leadership that goes into all of the curriculum that we teach. So as a company, we work with organizations across the world, everything from, developing cars to jet planes to consumer product packaged goods to processes. We work with organizations of all sizes across industries and help them improve their ways of working through transformation, consulting, coaching, and team launches and development that way, as well as through our credentialing curriculum. And so one thing that's really unique about Scrum Inc. is that we are taking the learning that we gain and the insights that we gain in industry from working with these organizations of, again, various sizes and from a wide range of industries. And we're bringing those into our curriculum so that it's constantly evolving and updating to provide our learners with the latest insights from the field and the patterns that are really going to help deliver results. Why we launched the program. So in part, there's just a growing demand for Agile professionals in industry today. Last year, LinkedIn partnered up with the World Economic Forum and looked at a massive amount of data for what jobs are most in demand. And what they found was that 3 of the top 9 emerging jobs in the engineering space were product owner, Agile Coach, and Scrum Master. And we've seen a lot of, as a consulting agency, we do see a lot of sort of Scrum butt or implementations of Agile frameworks that really don't deliver the results people are looking for. And the risk we run when this happens is giving the whole Agile movement and the Scrum framework sort of a sense that it doesn't work, or a reputation in the market that this isn't going to be as effective as we thought it was. But really what we believe is that comes down to the way that we're actually implementing the framework and some of the patterns and techniques that we're learning. And so in our curriculum, we have a strong emphasis on lean manufacturing, on patterns of high performing teams, and on Scrum at Scale, because frankly, everyone today is working in a scaled environment for the most part. And we truly believe that Scrum alone, without the foundation of lean principles that underlie the framework and that helped contribute to its evolution, is really not going to be able to deliver the results that we're looking for. Just a quick overview of what our curriculum today offers. So we do have team level credentials, Scrum Master, Scrum team member, and product owner. We've also got more enterprise level training. So our Scrum at Scale practitioner curriculum, as well as an Agile Coach curriculum. That's an intensive curriculum that includes a practicum where we'll actually introduce students to one of the customers, one of the organizations that we're working with, and provide them with real world opportunities to coach the teams during their events and that kind of thing. So if you are an Agile coach out there and you're looking for real world hands-on experience, this is the curriculum for you. We also have the Scrum trainer curriculum and a Scrum at Scale trainer curriculum, where we are partnering with thought leaders and experts across the globe to help them be able to provide our curriculum and instruct teams and Agile professionals on these patterns. So why would you want to become an Agile Education Program credential holder? Well, the kind of a couple of things I've already covered here, but really this comes down to learning true Scrum from the creator. When we launched our credentialing program, actually, it was at the behest of KDDI, which is one of the largest organizations in Japan, the world's 3rd largest economy. And he reached out to Jeff Sutherland, the co-creator of Scrum, and said, we want you to come here and teach Scrum the true way, the Scrum of the grandfathers of Scrum. And that includes lean principles that underlie Scrum. That includes the patterns of high performing teams. And that includes lessons on how to actually implement Scrum in a scaled environment where you have to interface with multiple teams. And so that is what sort of kickstarted this program and what we include today. We also provide our learners with ongoing content. So every year, as I was saying before, we are pulling together new insights from the field, from our experiences working with organizations and teams, and we're providing ongoing learning material to all credential holders in the program, extra modules, new lessons, and a webinar with Jeff Sutherland. So that's a really unique opportunity, and our commitment is to try to help keep our credential holders at the very cutting edge of industry. We also provide our credential holders with access to exclusive Scrum tools. And the goal here is to really help you be more effective in your role as Scrum Masters, product owners, team members, Agile coaches, or trainers. So there are different toolkits for each of the different credentials, and the tools themselves reinforce the patterns that we teach that are really going to help you deliver more and better results. I do have my colleague Noah Sarusia on the line. Is this
yeah, so thanks, Jess. So as Jess shared, one of the things that is unique about Scrum Inc. is that we have our arm of the transformation side of our business where that infuses exactly what we teach. And so we look to continuously improve our credentials to make sure that we work with industry and education providers to make sure that our curriculum is driven by what industry is looking for. And then that is like our continuous improvement cycle in terms of preparing students who enroll in our credentials and earn them to be able to, on day one, provide industry with what they're looking for. So some of those things are when industry sees a credential from Scrum Inc., they assume a level of rigor around supporting that organization's ability to adapt to the increasing rate of change, really quickly move and be adaptive in the environment of ideation to delivery. So be ahead of the game, really understand what is happening and what that company can do even more, really delivering real value from the product backlog. So that product backlog really serves as a testimony of what that company can do in order to stay ahead of everybody else. And beyond that, also ensuring that the customer and the client is always at the center of everything. And ultimately, what is really important is that we've developed, and through Dr. Jeff Sutherland's research and years of practice, patterns and practices of what it means to really be a high-performing team, and that's infused into our credential holders' ability, and that's a really huge differentiator. So Jess, if we could, thank you. And so what that's enabled us by working so closely with industry is that we're also looking to, we see that industry is not only looking for folks to be able to understand what they need, but also to have some specific abilities and know-how of how does Scrum work in different types of industries. So we offer courses that target specifically areas like hardware, construction, human resources, government, education, nonprofits. So while Scrum is a framework and a foundation for working in any industry, it's also important for our credential holders to have an opportunity to really dig in and get truly embedded into that specific job function and industry specific jargon and way of working so that they can bring Scrum and make that company even more successful. So these are some of the companies that some of which we've worked with, some of which we have not, but mostly just to kind of take a step back and really think about the vast industries and job functions that exist out there that utilize Scrum and make them the competitive companies that they are today. We wanted to share with you, so in thinking about that, one of the things that we know is really important is for agility to make it into the HR function. So if you're working in a company today that is utilizing Scrum, one of the things that we found is that Scrum hasn't necessarily fully made it into the HR function. And we know that the HR function is key to the ability to really fast track the entire company's ability to be agile. And so that means anywhere from the practices of organizational design to change management and things of that sort. So this will be our third time releasing a course in Scrum and HR where each of them have been sold out. And really the people who show up to these are both specifically within the HR function, which is a vast, anywhere from people ops to people development to legal, that are interested in really seeing how can we mobilize and really make it client first facing, which often the HR functions client is their customer that's inside their employee. And how can we also help develop and make sure that the agile transformation within the company is moving as quickly as possible. And so we do have this course that's coming up online Wanted to special offer to folks attending this session and DPD to anybody else of just 15% off if they'd like to join us. This is something that we're really excited to be sharing with this community.
That's brilliant, actually. And so what we will also do, we'll write to you and we'll collect how folks can, connect with you, at which level they should connect with you, and otherwise they should connect with the knowledge partners, the registered knowledge providers. So we will collect that information from you and we'll share with, folks here.
Excellent. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And then Scrum in design and construction. So the construction industry has been moving towards lean ways of practice for quite a bit of time, about 20 years. And one of the things that we're hearing from them quite significantly is the need to move faster. The construction industry is booming and they just can't keep up with the work that's coming through, and the ability to be on time, within scope, and also under budget is becoming more and more of a challenge. And so again, an opportunity here to think about how can we mobilize and fast track the experience of construction industry utilizing Scrum. So hope to see many of you at either one of these courses. And DPD, to your questions. So last but not least, we wanted to thank those who were able to make it here and listen. And we will also want to open up the floor for some questions. And if you don't get a chance to share what you're thinking about today, keep in touch with us, education@scruminc.com. And we look forward to hearing from you.
I have a few questions. All right. So first of all, when you were sharing like top 9 jobs in demand, so somehow I understand that Scrum Master and Agile Coach were there in top 9, but they were not, at the topmost category. Like Agile Coach was at 3 and Scrum Master at 8. So is it that we are still not realizing the importance of Scrum Master, because Agile Coach is still at 3, but Scrum Master is still at 8. So what could be the probable reason?
Yeah, I think partially Agile Coach encompasses a range of different Agile frameworks. And so I think that has sort of caught on a little faster in the market because, it brings with it the legacy of different frameworks. And so I think that's one of the reasons it's caught on. What interested me most about that report was seeing product owner as number 1, because that really does underscore a knowledge base of Scrum, a familiarity of Scrum that's growing in the market, but also the strong importance of having that product owner role. The other, this is all pure speculation. I was not at all involved in that research, obviously, but I think that Scrum Mastery has had a longer sort of road in the industry so far, and people know more about Scrum Mastery. There are more Scrum Masters out there. In our program, that is certainly the most in-demand course that we offer today. Mm-hmm. And so I think that partially it's people starting to realize, yes, we believe in the power of Scrum and we've hired Scrum Masters, but they're starting to realize that without good product owners and without good coaches, their Scrum implementation will not be able to deliver quite as much as it could otherwise. And so that's partially where my head's at. But again, I was not involved in the research. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that, Noah.
Yeah, no, I think everything you said, and I would also add that the importance there too. So think about, so these are the top 9 emerging jobs, and Scrum Master continuously is in those emerging jobs, right? So we're seeing product owner rise to the top, but Scrum Master is still an important role, right? So we still need that balance between the Scrum Master and the product owner, and really in order to deliver on the promise. And so I think it's important to think about it, not necessarily within its ranking, but within its overall scope of what companies are saying I need in order to really deliver and be a competitor in this market, right? And so then the Agile Coach coming in at number 3 also lets us know that we need to move beyond the understanding of just the team, but understanding how the team is working together as a unit with a teams of teams, and that's where the coach really comes in and needs to kind of support that and that people development connection, and how the Agile Coach and what we're seeing is working more closely with the HR function to really help the HR function think about how do we develop people as they're moving in the Scrum world and in the furtherment of that company. So think about kind of the play between all 3 of them, all needing to be on those top 9 jobs.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point because these are all jobs, right? All jobs in the whole engineering discipline across the board. To have 3 of the top be Agile jobs is really telling us something. And one thing we hear from clients and organizations that we work with is they have dominant market share. They're delivering on time. Their problem is that without an Agile way of working, they can't attract talent and they can't retain talent. Mm-hmm. So they're starting to realize like, hey, we need to change our way of working if we really want to get the best people in the market. And so there's a real competitive advantage in the career sector for being a credential holder within these areas.
Thank you. And how about you are offering a course for specific for HR? How about IT? Do you have any plans for offering some course for Scrum in IT?
Yeah, I mean, we are very open. So the way that our program works today is that we partner with industry experts to deliver these industry specific courses. A bit of it is based on demand. It's also based on where we think we can make the biggest impact and really help create traction. IT historically has been the most entrenched in Agile and Scrum. That's sort of where Scrum gets its history and has evolved from. So I think, you know, we do get a large percentage of our customers are working in an IT sector. And I think that is something that we could do if we see the right demand. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Noah? Noah runs all the public classes for Scrum Inc. So sounds like we may have some interest in an IT specific.
Yeah, I'd be curious to get a little bit more what you specifically would be looking for when you ask for IT, but what's your kind of, what was your thought process on that? Like IT, like specific to developer, what was your kind of, what would you be looking for?
So when I mentioned IT, I was more talking about the support in companies we have, like they are looking for infra and logistics, about how smooth all the connectivity, all the maybe connections. So these kind of a things. So that is what I was referring to when I mentioned IT. So IT department within an organization.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things we did run is a course to support the support function within an organization. So thinking about the operations that exists within IT. And that was kind of our idea of how do we think about kind of interrupt-driven environments and how does Scrum help evolve that and help them be, the best customer support or the best customer-facing operations. And so that is something that we do plan on in the latter half of this year, experimenting with again. And so it's interesting to hear that you're asking that, because that is something that we're also interested in doing. So from the operational perspective, we do get a lot of interest in that as well.
That will be great, because I'm working as a Scrum Master and I have been asked this question, so I also face their problem because I am not able to educate them or maybe, help them out, because I myself am not clear how I can, help them, because they are getting tickets on daily basis. Then there are things, which have longer roadmaps. So things like that. So even I'm not sure. So I just asked out of curiosity if you guys are offering something, so maybe I can look forward to that.
Yes, absolutely. And we also did a case study that we have public on our website, and we can make that available to you, that is about a team within a support function and how they mobilized and utilized Scrum to be able to answer to those kind of emerging ticket situations and what they did using the Scrum framework. So we can definitely share that with you.
Thank you.
So I wanted to know, related to this Scrum at Scale trainer, during this COVID time, how to go for that? And let's say if I'm going for a trainer for Scrum at Scale, so would it be like I would be able to go for training for other courses from Scrum Inc? Or how would that go?
So that would be an opportunity. Each of our trainers qualify for the courses that they deliver independently. So by working with Scrum Inc, trainers or other trainers in the Agile education community through apprenticeship or by coming to train the trainer courses that are intensive courses that culminate in a practicum where you'll deliver a live class that's based in whatever discipline you're looking at. So Scrum at Scale versus team level credentials. So to just get started, I'd recommend checking out on the website. You can go to scrumatscale.com and read a little bit more about the trainer path. We do have, obviously, now that we're all in a largely virtual environment, we are doing training classes virtually, but there's also opportunities for you to co-train with other members of the community and develop your skills through an apprenticeship. So those would be the two paths.
Okay.
But I'd recommend just getting started by looking at the website, scrumatscale.com/become a trainer.
Okay, thank you. Another thing is, you talked about this Agile education community. So what's about that? And
so Agile Education is the professional credentialing and educational arm of Scrum Inc. So this is where we take all the lessons and insights that we gain as an organization from working with companies and then develop those into our curriculum. So Agile Education covers Scrum Master, Product Owner, Scrum Team Member, Scrum at Scale Practitioner, Scrum Trainer, and Scrum at Scale Trainer. That includes kind of everything that we offer today. And then as we evolve the curriculum, that'll fall under the Agile Education community and program kind of umbrella.
So is it more about sharing experience based on what I have learned with the community, or is it a bit different?
So all of our trainers have submitted real world case studies that document sort of their experience and learning working with an organization. And as a trainer, you get access to all of the content developed by other trainers. So we do have a strong emphasis on cross-learning and sharing, experiences and that kind of thing. The program itself is sort of the umbrella term that we use for all the credentials, all the community involvement, cross-learning, and the web tools and everything that we're developing to really, advance education in the Agile space.
Okay. So these case studies that you are talking about, or the tools, are these just available to the trainers, or is it open for everybody?
They're also available. Many of the case studies are published on the sites. So they're just open under, or they're released under Creative Commons, and they're available to everyone in the public. All the web tools are exclusive to credential holders within our program. But if you become a Scrum Master by Scrum Inc. or Scrum team member, licensed Agile Coach, any of our credentials, you will get access to the web tools that'll help just improve planning, burn down, backlog, that whole.
Okay. Another question then I have is, let's say I'm Scrum at Scale certified from Scrum Inc. So if I want to go and look after the tools that are there for Scrum Master or Agile Coach, so are they open for me, or is it like the tools applicable for Scrum at Scale practitioner, those will only be accessible to me?
There will be some unique tools for each of the credentials, but there is also a sort of common bundle of tools that's available to everybody. But like our licensed Agile Coach will need specific tools to be an Agile Coach that you might not need as a product owner or things like that, right? So there are some specific tooling available to those credentials. But then there are also some tools that are available to all credential holders, like the planning tool.
Okay, perfect. Another thing is there are meetups happening, and then like if I talk about Scrum Alliance, they do some of these meetups, they sponsor them, or they do these regional Scrum gatherings. So Scrum Inc. also does some of them, or sponsor some of the meetups sort of thing?
Yeah, so we recently sponsored a meetup in Calcutta, and we'll be looking to increase that. Of course, as a program, we're relatively new to the market. We've been around for just over a year now. So we're looking to be involved in a lot more community events this year, and hopefully host some of our own meetups, and also, support things that are already going on in the community like this event.
Okay. So then looks like you guys also have a plan to have something like regional Scrum gathering sort of thing at a big scale in different regions, or not yet?
We don't have a plan yet. That's certainly the hope, but
okay.
It's going to be a few months down the road, I think, before we have a real plan.
Okay.
But stay tuned. I know a lot of our community members are developing localized events. So there are local Agile education events happening. Arijit Sarbana is one of the trainers that's helping to organize these things. So certainly there are things happening, but at a regional level, we haven't done a whole lot yet.
Okay, thank you. That helps.
My pleasure.
So Jessica, I have one question here, right, Vikram here. So similarly, since Ashish asked you about this question about the meetups and all those things, right? If like I'm a Scrum at Scale practitioner, right? If I want to see and be a part of the community and contribute more, how I can do that, right? That is a question.
Yes, great question. Thank you so much. I'd encourage you to reach out to us at education.scruminc.com, and we can kind of talk more about what you have in mind and how we can best support that. I'm happy to connect you with our regional partners in the area to see how we can really gain some traction and get some people together.
Okay, sure. Certainly I will do that. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Ashish, I also wanted to just mention one other unique element to the Agile Education Program that is particular to the students and also the trainers in our network is when a student is enrolled, for example, in our Scrum and HR courses, they become part of a community that's unique to them, that is invitation only based on their enrollment in the course. And it comes with a LinkedIn group that shares resources as well as a monthly meetup with our Scrum Inc. trainers that are specifically able to help them and guide them in Scrum and HR. And so that's a monthly meetup that's basically a value proposition that is followed up because they earn their credential with us. And so it's something that's kind of unique to us and also something that our students really end up leading as a community of practice and become more and more empowered to bring Scrum into more HR functions. And so we've also started to do that with some of our Scrum at Scale courses as well, giving our students more of a platform to reach out to one another and gain insight and knowledge from our trainers as they move through their journey of adopting these different methodologies into their areas.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions, thoughts?
So guys, we have any more questions?
I would also just encourage you all, if you're interested in learning more as we do develop additional community events, feel free to join our newsletter. That's where we'll kind of promote these and keep you informed of the latest ongoing. So you can sign up for the newsletter on the education site or on the Scrum Inc. site.
Okay, perfect. So,
thank you. Yeah.
Do we have any more questions, guys?
I think this looks like it. Yeah. Thank you very much, Noah and Jessica. Thanks a lot for taking out time. We have this recording, and also we will be not just the recording, but we'll collect information from you how people can reach out, and we'll be sharing it with them.
Great.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to be with all of you.
Yeah, and thanks for all your investment in organizing this event and bringing people together.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks. You have a great day. Bye-bye. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
So it is just us.
Yes.
Here.
Should we end it now?
Now we are good to end it. आज तो जल्दी खत्म हो गई.
Yeah.
तो चले जा रही है.
Dipti, it is still being recorded, so let's end it.
Yeah, ठीक है.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye. Yeah.